Alright, welcome back to part 2 of my Gran Turismo series. This one we're going to be taking on the A-License and trying to get gold in all of them. So we're going to start with A1. A1, Complex Corners, Beginner 1. This test measures your ability to negotiate S-curves on a high-speed track. Immediately upon launch, take note of the red and white curbing on your right. At the end of this curbing is the first corner, a left-hander. The first corner is a right-hander. Oh well. This corner's curbing reveals the location of the apex. Take the correct line and you should be able to get through it flat out. Cross the bridge, and then you'll come upon a right-hander. I think this test is different than what is written here in the information. Stay as far left as you can when entering the corner and look for the apex. Remember, this is a late apex corner. You should also be patient with the throttle here, as you don't want to upset the car's balance mid-turn. At the corner's exit, don't bother getting set up on the far right before the next left-hander, because you don't have time. Go straight for the apex. Give a light tap with the brake pedal, and as you enter the corner, it's paramount you be patient with the throttle here, because if you get on it too quickly, you'll provoke understeer, which will keep you from making the last turn smoothly. Anyway, let's get into it. There's definitely time to gain in that one. I messed up the first turn pretty badly. There we go. A2, Complex Corners, Beginner 2. Now let's run the same section of the previous test in the Lotus Elise 111R. Remember that because the Elise is a powerful mid-engine sports car, its behavior through the S's will be different than that of a front-engine car. When going through the right-hander after the bridge, make sure you hit the brakes to transfer the car's weight to the front tires. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of unwanted understeer. If you get too wide at this corner's exit, you won't be able to stay on the correct line for the following left-hander. Correctly utilizing the car's fore-aft weight balance is important here. Easy, not even close. Tackling high-speed corners, 1. This test will see how well you negotiate deep forest tracks a final corner. A high-speed left-hander. We'll use the high-output front-engine, front-drive Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider for this test. After launch, set yourself on the right side of the track, then start turning the wheel early to make up for the car's understeering tendencies. Tap the brake pedal to control your speed through the corner. Unless you exit the corner at the optimum speed, you'll probably go off. Starting off slowly, then gradually raising your pace as you get accustomed to the car and the corner is recommended here. That was fast. A4, Tackling High-Speed Corners 2. This is one of Suzuka Circuit's most challenging corners, called the 130R. You'll start on the back straight, going about 80 miles per hour. Set yourself up on the right side of the track. The approach on corner is tight here, so start turning immediately after you're off the brakes. If you're late turning in, you won't be able to hit the apex. As a result, you'll more than likely go off at the corner's exit. As you practice this corner, look for the optimum turn-in point, for therein lies the key to mastering this corner. How's that almost gold? That was absolutely terrible. There we go. A5, one lap guide run, Grand Valley East. For this test, we'll do a lap of Grand Valley East along with a pace car. Although Grand Valley is a fairly flat course, the east section, with its many shortcuts and hills, is in some ways more fun and rewarding than the full version. The first shortcut comes right after the first corner. Take caution approaching the next corner because it's a blind one, hidden behind a hill. The next shortcut is equally challenging, coming right after the tunnel. Make sure you're set up correctly on the left side of the road while you're still in the tunnel. A6, Complex Corners, Intermediate 1. Twin Ring Moteki's S-curves is the site for this test. Taking the correct racing line is paramount when negotiating these corners. If your exit through the first corner is too aggressive, you'll have a difficult time taking the proper line into the next corner. And getting away quickly from the second corner is vital because it leads to a long straight. Use the full track when exiting the second corner, going all the way to its edge. Set yourself up on the right side for the final left-hander while you're still on the straight. A7, Complex Corners, Intermediate 2. We use the Nürburgring's technical section for this test. Exit the first left-hand corner at full throttle, and then get on the brakes as you enter the S's. The first turn here has a late apex, so you'll have to be ready to steer the other way as soon as you exit to make it in time for the turn-in point for the second corner. If you take the correct line, you can get through the second corner flat out. Finding a nice rhythm is important when tackling this section. Three-tenths of a second quicker. Crazy. A8, Applied Cornering 1. This section utilizes the hairpin at El Capitan, which leads to a challenging corner immediately before the bridge. Effectively guide your car through the various left-handers to pass this test. The first left-hander actually consists of two turns, leading onto a tight exit. Don't panic and go to the inside right away. Stay to the middle of the track and drive on the curbing to hit the apex. Then, on the next left-hander, which comes immediately after the straight, can be cleared without touching the brakes. On to the coffee break we go. Knock over the cones laid out in a spiral. I'm not going to read through the entire thing, it's literally just driving in a spiral. Let's go! A9, Applied Cornering 2. Here you'll be faced with the real-life facing conditions. Suzuka's famed S's is the venue. The corners are aligned in a relatively simple manner, left, right, left. However, you won't be able to get through them at full throttle. You'll need to brake properly for each corner to effectively negotiate this section. Keep the nose of the car pointed in the correct direction. That is key. Establishing a good rhythm is also important, and do not upset the car's chassis. The final left-hand corner has a tendency to invoke understeer, so be ready to accommodate accordingly. A10, a one-lap guide run, Suzuka. We'll use Suzuka circuit again, but this time we'll run the entire course. For a flying lap with the pace car. Suzuka is a long course, so be sure to memorize its layout and learn the proper racing lines before going all out. A variety of difficult and challenging corners exist here, such as reverse banking, Degner, and 130R. The best way to learn the course quickly and better your lap times is making full use of the pace car. And, as before, hit or pass the pace car, and you'll fail. Your test vehicle is the Acura Integra Type R DC5 version. was close. Oh my god, I thought I failed the test there. A11, Applied Dirt Driving 1. The cliffs of the Grand Canyon is the site of this off-road test. Your capability of cornering on dirt will be gauged here. This section consists mainly of a series of right-hand corners. There's a slight left-hander soon after the start, which you should take more or less in a straight line. Then you'll come upon the first right-hander. Make sure you have the car pointed in the correct direction as you enter the turn. Immediately after this corner, the car will veer toward the edge of the track. Don't panic. Carefully aim for the inside of the next corner. Keep a consistent steering angle through both corners, like it's one big half circle, and you should be successful here. A12, Applied Dirt Driving 2. Safely and quickly get through the 3 corners of the uphill winding section of the Tahiti Maze to pass this test. The key here is to control your car as it slides through the corners. Brake before getting to the corner. If you transfer the car's weight to the front and get on the throttle, the car will slide. Control the slide with the steering and throttle, and get through the turn without dropping your speed. Do this and you'll not only pass this test, you'll master the art of drifting. A13, Tackling Blind Corners 1. Rocks and stones abound on this mountain trail, as do blind corners, so proceed with caution. After you exit the first tunnel, you'll be faced with the first of 2 blind corners. Make sure to slow your car down properly and get to the inside of the turn. Enter the second tunnel on the right side and exit at the left edge, straddling the side of the tunnel wall. This will set you up properly for the next corner, which is marked by yellow lines. If you're on the inside of the turn, you should be able to enter this straight at a good clip. Practice makes perfect, so try it over and over until you get the perfect run. A14. Tackling blind corners 2. Within the Nürburgring's middle section are a series of tricky downhill corners. You'll be tested on how well you handle these high-speed corners. The first section consists of S's. They're not only blind, they're canted. If you choose to run on the outside edge here, you'll more likely go off, so be cautious of your driving line. After the S's are a series of right-handers. Don't stay left when setting up to turn in here. Instead, hug the inside of the corners. A short straight follows, which is then followed by a chicane-like left-hander. Slow down accordingly, then get back on it as you hit the apex. Make sure you're on the throttle quickly. Choose the line that allows you to get on the gas earliest. You get a sense of the Nürburgring's unique character through this section. A15. One lap guide run, Trial Mountain. We'll be taking a flying lap of the Trial Mountain course with the pace car. The key to successfully lapping this course is to nail the numerous blind corners that appeared in our previous test. Don't be intimidated by the stone walls and make use of the entire track. Take the last corner, a chicane, with plenty of caution. Normally, driving on the curbing is not a bad thing, but in this section, you're in danger of losing control of the car. Lose control here, and you may hit an imposing concrete wall ahead. Therefore, you'd best take the safer route. Passing or hitting the pace car results in automatic disqualification. Your car is the Mazda 6. A16. Graduation Test. Pass this test to obtain the A-Class racing license. The section after the carousel of the Nürburgring's North Course is our test venue. It's the more interesting technical portion of the ring. The first thing to do here is to observe the demonstration car. Pay close attention to its speed through every turn. The wrong entry and exit speed through any of these corners will result in going off. There are also a few blind spots, so try and memorize when and where to brake and turn. It's only like 2 seconds off. I had a pretty bad run though, so it shouldn't be too difficult to gain a lot of time. Bam. Second try. Gained about 2 seconds that run. Anyway, that is the A licenses all done, as well as the coffee break. So, I'll get my A license here, and then 3 cars. Alrighty, that's the A licenses. I'll see you back for the International B, and then we'll move on to the International A and Super licenses.